Welcome to the Value Creating Human, a conversation series where we share the stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary value creating things in our communities and around the world. We hope to inspire in you a desire to explore what it means to be human and how you can create value in your lives and the lives of others. As humans, what kind of values are worth pursuing? What values can we create in our community? Let's explore together in the upcoming episodes.
I've been in the sector for 6 years plus, almost 7. There are so many stories in my head at this moment. I have happy stories of clients who are doing better than ever. I have less happy stories where clients chose to take their lives. But all these stories really, I think, are little milestones to keep me going. So for example, I have a client, very intelligent client. She has borderline personality disorder. She has depression. So she was in uni, and then now what happened is that she's now a piano teacher. She owns a piano studio. And I'm so happy for her, from a girl who would call me in the middle of the night telling me that she wants to take a life, that life is meaningless. But she has now grown and has now be someone that is living her potential and her passion. I thought that was a wonderful encouragement for me. I never have this idea that I want to save the world. I only want to make the difference in the life of those people around me. So for me, it's I hope to save this one life, and I hope to save one life, and I hope to save one life. I know that I will not be able to save the world, and that is the constant that I remind myself. But that one life that encounters me, I hope to do whatever I can. And if I couldn't, I will reflect on how could I have done it better, and to also know that actually there is nothing that I could control. One of the things I really like to do is reading. So every night before I sleep, right, I will read for at least 1.5 hours. The other lesser known skill that I enjoy, but it takes up too much time, is wedding video editing. I like to create beautiful memories. I think having a supportive team really helps. The team that I'm in, wonderful team. We take care of one another, and we are very committed to one of the core values of Touch really is to be committed to the success of each other. So we are so committed to the success of one another. The other one is I have a very supportive family, especially my husband. He knows when I am really going to derail, right? This crazy train is going to derail. He knows, because then I become a lot more grumpy. I become a lot more impatient, and that's when he will ask me, please go and take your time out. I'm also very conscious of my own physiological symptoms. For example, like when I cannot sleep or when I feel frustrated, I know that something might be wrong, and that's when I become more careful, and I know that I need my time out. I need to go and do something on my own. I need to do something, yes. I was kind of just led into this. So the thing about me is I don't plan. I'm not someone who plans and tell you, hey baby, the next 5 years I want to reach a certain level. Next 10 years I want to do certain things. I'm not someone who plans like that. I chance upon it, and then it's like, oh, it sticks, so, and I enjoyed it. Same for choosing husbands, by the way. Just chance upon my husband. Oh, I like him. Okay, then we just stick to it. I think I really like my work that I can see in a very broad perspective, right? Like the whole nation. But because of me seeing clients, I don't look at just how the nation look at the problem or how policies look at the problem, but I look at each individual, seeing that problem with the individual. I think that makes all the difference, because putting a face to the policies, who are we setting policies for, who are we working for, putting a face to that, I think makes all the difference, because you become more you believe in the cause a lot more. So I think one very simple thing you could do is to be present. So if let's say you're going through an issue, I think the default reaction of all Singaporeans, because we are so well trained in this, right, is to problem solve. We always try to problem solve and say that, oh, if you do step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you'll be fine. But I think with mental health, it's a very real thing, because it not just comprises of your thoughts, it comprises of your emotions, it comprises of your physical. So it's all linked, I feel. So just being present will enable that person to explore some of these things. And of course, if you want to direct them to seeking help, then I'll say, this problem sounds really complex. And unfortunately, I don't know how I can help you, but I'll be willing to journey with you. Could we go get help together? And that's when you direct them to get the necessary resources to get help. So on a collective level, as a community that we live in, what do? I think we can look out for people. I think there are some mental health conditions that increases propensity for people to isolate, right, or to want to be alone. And I think that would help if we have a community of watchers, right, to watch out for these people, to encourage these people, to journey with these people, to be educated on how do we approach them in a non-threatening way, how do we as a society, beyond just watching them, also correct mindsets of people who may not think as positively of persons with mental health conditions. I think that would be wonderful. So what we really need to do is really to help change perspective of persons with mental health conditions. Parents who suspect their children who may exhibit some signs and symptoms, go get help. Right? So I have some youths coming to me and say that I don't have permission to get help because my parents don't think that this is an issue. My parents don't want me to get help because they think that it will be bad. It will look bad. I'm a weak person. I think these are mindsets that we need to change. Yeah, and as a community, I think if we stand together with persons with mental health conditions, this mindset will shift, this mindset will change. People do hire persons with mental health conditions, but managers will be like, but I cannot promote you, or your colleagues don't dare to work with you because we don't know what we say that trigger them. I don't know, if I give you too much work, you'll be too stressed and then you'll break down. So questions like this, I think these are concerns that are very real, because it shows a heartbeat of wanting to support persons with mental health conditions. So I do thank these members, these community members who have these concerns, because you really do have a heart for persons with mental health conditions. Then my challenge for you would be, go get yourself equipped, go get yourself educated on what to do, and gain confidence in how to manage, because you'll come to realize this is not as difficult as you think it is. Okay, so one of the big anti-stigma thing we are doing is Beyond the Label. Well, government agencies, we have 26 agencies on board Beyond the Label Collective just to advocate for the cause of persons with mental health conditions. We are going to the neighborhoods and we are going to the community in neighborhoods, right, into the RCs. We are going to we have been setting exhibitions. They paint pebbles as a pledge to support persons with mental health conditions. So a word of encouragement. And then we put these pebbles in the community. On top of that, we do educate them. So how do you befriend a person with mental health conditions? So training like that. How do you do crisis management? How first responders training? And then how do you then do peer support? So we have that kind of training for the community. We also have exhibitions in the school that we hold. They also do paint pebbles. So in the different tracks, right, we have family, we have workplaces where we help write policies, we give them resources on where they can direct their staff to. So we are now very targeted in our approach to ensure that beyond just knowing about mental health, beyond just knowing about persons with mental health, now there is a call to action. And let's do something about it. We have a big bang event happening on the 8th of September. Women libraries, when persons with lived experience come and tell you about their lived experience. You get to hear and realize that they are very non-threatening. I always tell people, people have this misconception, right, that persons with mental conditions are very dangerous. Actually, and I always tell them, actually they are not dangerous. They are more dangerous to themselves. So if anything, they do things to themselves rather than they do things to other people. So come and get to know them, come and get to know and put faces to the cause, which I believe will tug your heartstrings, and you will understand without me saying why I'm still here and why I'm still doing what I'm doing. Don't just look at the now. Look at where we can be in the future together. So if you just look at the now, sometimes you get very tired, sometimes you get very jaded, you get very discouraged. But you look at where it could go, it encourages you to keep pressing on. See that end goal and move towards the end goal. If you work without a goal as you join the sector, you will burn out very quickly because you don't see where you're going and all you see is problem. So many problems everywhere. But if I were to see beyond just my problems and I see what I need to do to get there, then it's a different story. These are not problems, are stepping stones. And then I will feel more resilient, hopefully, to stay in the sector, and there will be more longevity. And I'm hopeful that with longevity equates to more long-term impact.
Thank you for tuning in. This episode of The Value Creating Human was brought to you by Be Human, a Singapore-based social enterprise that looks to co-create peace-building through dialogue within our region and around the globe. Special thank you to our guest for today's episode, Ms. Andrea Chang from Touch Community Service. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a like, share, and subscribe in our social media handles. We hope to see you for our next exploration.